Respectable viewers, once again, it is nationwide English language tutorials. Today, we will be looking at grammar. We've looked at composition, essay writing, and specifically, we delved into story writing. We also looked at comprehension and then summary writing. Today, we'll be looking at what? We'll be looking at grammar. Let us look detailedly into grammar. Now, that is the basics of English language. Grammar has to do with the use of part of speech or word classes and how appropriately we use them. Now, today, basically, we'll be looking at the use of some words together with prepositions. Now, many a time, many a writer uses what we call preposition attached to a verb. When you do that, we have the appropriate ones and we have the ones that are not appropriate. So let us look at some of the wrong use of prepositions as far as the usage of verb is concerned. Now, the first thing has to do with contest for. You would hear people, very soon there will be election, 2024, there will be election. And then you hear people that Mahama is what? Is contesting for 2024 elections. Nanado will contest for. Now, the word or the verb contest doesn't use the preposition for. So what do you say? Mahama will contest 2024 election, not contest for. So anytime you use contest as a verb, it doesn't take what? The preposition for. The for should be expendable. It should be done without. Alright. The second thing we'll be looking at is behoves on. So you can say that it behoves on a student to learn hard, to learn assiduously so that he can pass the exams very well. So it behoves on Nanado to bring about development in Ghana. It behoves on the government. Now, the word behoves does not take what? On. So what do you say? It behoves Nanado to bring about development. It behoves the government to. So when you use the word behove or the verb behove, you don't bring what? The on. That is about the use of verbs with what? Prepositions. You don't use the on attached to that word. The third thing we'll be looking at is discuss about. You may see a few ladies and then they are discussing. They say, hey, what are you discussing about? Of course, the verb discuss does not take the preposition about. So you can discuss something, but you can discuss about something. Oh, they are discussing the match between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. Anthony Taylor, that referee. I like football very much and I like the UK. But one thing I don't like has to do with English referees, most of them. How can you behave like this? It is clear that it's cheating. Now, we are not propagating cheating here in football. What we are talking about is English language. And we are only giving that as an example. That is just by the way. So, we are discussing the Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur's match. Not we are discussing about. Oh, we are discussing about the Ghanaian economy. It is, if you like, undeniable fact that the economy of Ghana is on her knees. In fact, she's begging for what? Pragmatic solutions. So you don't say that the guys are discussing about the economy of Ghana. They are discussing the economy of Ghana. Oh, we are discussing Efiaswas Nega. We are discussing Mahama. We are discussing Anado. No, we are discussing about. So the about should be dropped. Right. So we will also look at the verb stress. Oh, when Ken Eben was presenting sports this morning, he stressed on Ronaldo's move. No, he did not stress on. He stressed, then he dropped the on. He stressed Ronaldo's move. He stressed Manchester United. The teacher stressed the economy of Ghana. The economics teacher stressed the economy of Ghana, not stressed on. You drop the on. We can also think of the verb emphasize. Oh, many people in Ghana are emphasizing on the problems Ghana is facing. They are emphasizing on. We learned that for the past 6 months, about 23,000 plus people have tested, if you like, positive for HIV. So many presenters, many reporters, many journalists are emphasizing on HIV. No, they are emphasizing HIV. They are emphasizing the match. The girls are emphasizing the topic. So when the teacher was teaching, he emphasized what? Not on, but he emphasized, let's say, photosynthesis. He emphasized esterification, not he emphasized on. We drop the on. Another one has to do with highlight. So Are you highlighting on or you are highlighting? The man highlighted on the problems facing Africa. The man highlighted on, no, the man highlighted the problems of Africa, not highlighted on. So when you use highlight, a verb, you don't bring on, you drop the on. So this is what you mean by verbs and prepositions. Verbs go with prepositions, but they go with appropriate ones, not the ones we have here. So the examples we gave, all those prepositions we mentioned should be dropped. We should only use the verbs. Let's continue with verbs with the wrong prepositions. We also have something like comprise of. Oh, the meeting comprises of. The meeting comprises of. Not comprise of, but what? Comprise. So the meeting comprise. We are told that later in the day we'll have, how do you call it, Keneben and others here. Sorry, we'll be having Ebenezer and others here. Now, the point is that the meeting that we are going to have will comprise Ebenezer, Kwaku Menu, Lewin, not comprise of. So the verb comprise doesn't go with what? Off. We drop the off. We also have voiced out. Many a time you hear people say, oh, Mahama voiced out his opinion on the economy of Ghana. He voiced out. No. When you voice, already what you have said is out. So you don't say voice out opinion. You voice your opinion. So I am voicing my opinion on something, not I am voicing out. That is about that. We can also go for the verb request. Now let's take note of something here. The verb request does not take for. He requested for a permission. He requested for money from the father. He requested for no. When request is used as a verb, of course, we have some verbs or some words that are lexically ambiguous. When we say something is ambiguous, we mean it has more than one meaning. It can be used that way, it can be used that way. So if you mention the word like gay, gay can mean what we all know, or it can also mean happiness. So that is what? Semantically ambiguous. But here we are talking about syntactically ambiguous, where a word can be a noun in one sentence and can be a verb in another sentence. Because the word father or even mother can be a noun or a verb. It means that in grammar, you cannot tell in isolation that a word is a noun or a verb or adjective unless it is used in context. Because words are syntactically ambiguous. In this sentence, mother is a noun. In that sentence, mother is a verb. So I can say that, how do you call it? Nana Abba Anamwa can mother Miss V. Nana Abba Anamwa can mother Miss V. So mother here is not a what? It's not a noun, it's a verb. In this context, in this structure, it is what? A verb. But we can also say that Nana Abba Anamwa is the mother of what? Miss V. So here we are using mother as a noun. That is what we mean by words becoming what? Lexically ambiguous or syntactically ambiguous. Syntactically ambiguous. So, when you use request, it doesn't take for. So, he requested his money from his boss. He requested his money, not he requested for his money. When you hear radio stations, TV stations, and the journalist or the entertainment guy there is putting on a lot of songs, there are times they make people request songs. So someone will say, oh, I'm requesting this song for my lovely one out there. No, you are requesting a song. You are not requesting for a song. So you request a song, not to request for a song. You are requesting something. So as soon as you use the verb request, you continue with the thing you are requesting, not the for before the thing. But if request is used as a noun, then you can bring the for. So this sentence, for example, you can say that he made a request for. Here, don't forget that the request is used as a noun, and it is even preceded by the article a. We all learn basically in grammar that when you have the article a, the, and an, then apart from an adjective that can follow, the next thing that will follow that this a or an or the is a noun. So you say that he made a request for Ghana. We are saying we learned that we are going to IMF once again. So Ghana made a request for money. But if it's a verb, then Ghana request money from IMF. So that is about request as a noun and that of what? A verb. We can also go on and talk about solicit. When it's time for election, you will see most of these politicians, they will become as humble as anything. Some of them become so pious, and when they're passing by, they wind down their glasses so that they can speak to what? The locals, the grassroots. So they come to what? To solicit for your support. That is what you see in some books. But the point is that when you use the verb solicit, it doesn't go with for. So the politicians are what? Soliciting the support of the people. Not they are soliciting for the support. Whatever happens later is anybody's guess. Well, after the election, we all know how they behave. That is the African type of politics. We only become humble and respectful when we need something. As soon as we get it, we are gone. So the politicians will solicit for the support of what? The people. That's wrong. What do you say? The politicians will solicit the support of the people without the for. Another one is seek. S-E-E-K. I am going to seek permission from my boss. I am going to seek permission from my boss. Not I am going to seek for permission from my boss. The past tense is sought. S-O-U-G-H-T. So he sought permission. Not he sought for permission. So when you seek, as in asking for something, what do? You don't use what? For. So you are seeking permission. You are seeking something. You are seeking help from your father. You are seeking help from the government. So you are seeking help. Not you are seeking for help. That is also another thing we have to look at. Now we also look at the verb enter. Now, enter has two ways of using it. You can use enter and use the verb into in one context. In another context, you cannot use the into. Let us look at these two structures. One, Ghana entered into an agreement with Nigeria. Ghana entered into an agreement with IMF. So in this structure, you can say entered into. The into is indispensable. You must use it attached to the verb because it's about agreement. It's about a treaty or something. But when you are talking about mobility, movement, for example, I entered the room. We don't say I entered into the room. Oh, I entered into the auditorium. No, I entered the auditorium. I entered the room, not I entered into. So if it's about this mobility, I mean moving from one place to another, then you don't use what? You don't use the into. So I entered the room, not I entered into the room. That is about the wrong use of prepositions when you use some words or verbs. Now, let us look at the verb fight. The difference between fight with and fight. Now, if I say that I am fighting Akaebenezer, or let's say that Lewin is fighting Akaebenezer, it is different from Lewin is fighting with Akaebenezer. There is this debate in the system as to which of them is funnier. We don't say more funnier or most funnier, but funnier. Now, so which of them is funnier? The point is, there was an interview and people were talking blah 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 about whatever is happening. We are not interested in that. They can have whatever. We are interested in grammar. So the grammar here is, if you say, how do you call it, Lewin is fighting with Akaebenezer, what it means is that now the two of them have become one, which means Lewin and Akaebenezer are one, fighting another group. Let's say Kwaku Menu and let's say this guy Pilato GH. So if you say that Lewin is fighting with Akaebenezer, it means that the two of them are. But if you are talking about the two of them having beef, like let's say what is even happening recently between Tiny and that of Stoneboy, you will say that Tiny is fighting Stoneboy. Then you are telling us that the two of them are loggerheads. They are daggers drawn. They don't see eyeball to eyeball. So it means that the two are not friends anymore. They are not one. But when you say that Tiny is fighting with Stoneboy, then it means that the two of them are one. So we should know the distinction between the two. Lewin is fighting Akaebenezer. It means the two of them have problems. But Lewin is fighting with Akaebenezer means they are one, like they were before. So that is about what? That is about the verb fight. So we should take note of these particular words. When you use prepositions with verbs, find out which of them do I use. So that is what about that. We'll look at a few of them in our next episode. Thank you so much for subscribing to Ken Eben TV. God bless you.